to Miami to select Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State with the 11th pick. And then the Cowboys moved down from 20 to 23 to select UCF edge rusher Malachi Lawrence for their second first-round pick last night. So the Cowboys draft a safety and an edge rusher. We'll go to you here, Rye. How much better did Dallas get last night, specifically on the defensive side of the ball?
The Dallas Cowboys got exponentially better. And for everything we say about Jerry Jones and the Jones family and the way the Dallas Cowboys have functioned over the last 30 years, they get this night right very often. There was a sort of thought that they could go into this night trying to replace George Pickens right now because you knew he would be on the franchise tag. You thought maybe that you could trade him. Caleb Downs was one of the widely considered best players in this draft. And as he continues to fall down the draft, they get an opportunity to pick him and then move back in the draft and get Malachi Lawrence. Caleb Downs has, in my opinion, the highest floor of any player. He's going to immediately make you a better team from a communication standpoint, from an anticipatory standpoint. And now paired with Christian Parker, the way he likes to roll those two high safeties down into the box, he makes an immediate impact. And Malachi Lawrence, who in my opinion is still growing, we're talking about a dude that ran 4.52, an incredible 10-yard split, production in the backfield, 11 tackles for loss, 7 sacks. This was what they needed to do. And what I love the most about this pick is they didn't go for need. They didn't go to try to answer questions about what they said in the press conference. They allowed new defensive coordinator Christian Parker to have 2 possible linchpin pieces to his defense after coming over from Philadelphia. This was an absolute home run first round for the Dallas Cowboys.
Dan?
Nick Saban loves and raves about Caleb Downs. Daniel Jeremiah and Chris Long love and rave about Malachi Lawrence. I'm good with that. I want to be like all in with the Cowboys right now. I really do after last night. RC, Stephen A, Shay, my only hesitation is I still feel there's a little bit of what's going to happen with George Pickens. Because if you tell me that there's no doubt about it, Pickens is there for the Cowboys this year because he signed his franchise tag, I'm like, yo, this team's got a chance now. This team's got a legit chance to matter next season. But because he signed the tag, I would be surprised if he plays on it. I would be, but who knows? Because I'm like, okay, is he gonna be there? Are they going to try and move him after the press conference? Is somebody going to call and try and trade for a George Pickens and see if they can acquire him and the Cowboys draft a receiver tonight or over this week? That's my only hesitation right now. After last night, I love it, but I just, there's a little bit of like, what is exactly going on with George Pickens and the Cowboys?
No disagreement here, but I'm going to be a bit more cautious than the both of you, and I'm going to defer to you because we're talking about a kid that just got drafted that's an absolute stud, and I'm not going to joke around about the black cat running around that franchise because I don't wish that on him or anybody. Let's be serious for a second here, fellas, and I'm going to defer to the both of y'all in all seriousness when I bring this up. Since this dude rolled on the college football in 2023 at Alabama, he was considered arguably the best safety in football. Nobody's had any questions about his ability. There have been questions, however, about his health because of the knee issue, because of the meniscus stuff, and then you've got people asking those questions, plus he didn't necessarily work out, you didn't test him enough, that kind of stuff. The kind of things that we hear about the cautious, the measures that they take to ensure you passing your physicals, you're in complete health, you're ready to roll, et cetera, et cetera. These are the kind of things that they're saying did not occur with him. I don't know. I only know what I read, okay, and what I saw people like y'all say. So I'm asking the question. We're not questioning his ability, but his health seems to be a question mark. You can't knock the Dallas Cowboys for taking the chance on him because everybody's been raving about him. And we hope and pray that this brother's healthy because we know what he can do on the football field. He picks things up quickly. He can run you down. He's one of the elite, arguably the elite safety in all of college football. At first at Alabama, then at Ohio State. Everybody's been raving about him. But when I'm hearing questions about meniscus, and I'm hearing questions about your knees, I'm hearing questions about your health, coming into the draft, and there's no evidence that he's 100% healthy other than his word. Is that not a reason to be cautious? I'm asking.
Right.
Well, I'm not a doctor. Also did not sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, but I did speak with Caleb immediately when I heard the news about what was said about his knee after the combine. I texted him right away. We actually talk pretty often, and he said he went through all the checks. He talked to different doctors from different teams. His agent checked them with them as well, and he had a clean bill of health. Now, I compared him to Bob Sanders. I don't know, if you guys remember the Defensive Player of the Year from the Indianapolis Colts, helped that team win the Super Bowl. Bob Sanders was here for a good time, not a long time. And there were injury concerns about him as well. But when he was at the top of his game, when he was able to give you top-level play, he was on par with the Troy Palomalus and with the Ed Reeds, although playing a different style. That's what you have to expect from Caleb Downs. You're not going to have to wait on him. This isn't going to be a project. This isn't going to be a guy that has to progress or you have to go through a process of getting him on the field. The day he walks into the building and OTA starts, he should be the starting safety for the Dallas Cowboys. He should be running the show for them the same way he did for Nick Saban at Alabama as a true freshman who was a freshman All-American.
Okay, so that means an immediate upgrade on the defensive side of the ball. It's the first time the Cowboys have drafted multiple defenders in the first round since 2005 when they drafted Marcus Spears and DeMarcus Ware. Let's stay in the NFC East. The Giants had 2 top 10 picks in the first round of the draft. They first selected linebacker Arvell Reese, 5th overall. He is the 3rd straight defender selected in the top 5 by the Giants. And then New York picked offensive tackle Francis Maui-Noa out of Miami. Giants quarterbacks were pressured on 35% of pass plays last season. That was 25th in the NFL. Did the Giants nail those 2 top 10 picks last night? Dio, what do you think?
Yes. Arvell Reese, talented player, superstar athlete. It feels, here's my thing, RC. And Maui Noah, I like adding at the line of scrimmage. Here's my thing. It feels like for the last 7 years, the Giants have taken like an edge defensive player. And as much, Abdul Carter and Thibodeau and now Arvell Reese, and they obviously acquired Brian Burns in a trade. So it's like they got a lot of defensive front 7 people, okay? You better get a receiver tonight. And that was my hesitation with, okay, do you take Tyson at 5? You better get a receiver. Because the next 2 or 3 years, as great as all those pieces are, your quarterback is going to really determine how good this run is with Joe Shane and Harbaugh. And Malik Neighbors, superstar, coming off the injury. When's he going to be ready? When's he going to be Malik Neighbors dominant ready? Okay, they lost Wan'Dale Robinson. Yeah. So as much as I can appreciate those 2 picks, and they're good picks, I believe, picked 37th tonight, you better get a wide receiver because you need more perimeter talent.
I will say this to you. They definitely better get a wide receiver because you lost Robinson. I got that part. And Malik Neighbors went healthy. The brother's a stud. He's all world. I love him, and I get that. You had to take a defensive player, particularly when you just lost Lawrence. You had to get a defensive player. There's no doubt about that. And Reese is no joke, so we understand that too. What I would say to you about it is this, though, Dan. The culture of the New York Giants, when you talk, because let's pay attention. You know, it's not just about winning. It's also about rallying that fan base and reminding them of what made the Giants the Giants. You got to get back to making sure that you have elite talent on the defensive side of the ball with a bunch of rough riders that'll get after it. When you establish that culture in East Rutherford, New Jersey, in Big Blue, that goes a long way towards reminding folks and contributing to the kind of culture that led to you capturing a couple of Super Bowl championships. I mean, it could be from the days of Lawrence Taylor in '86 and the early '90s to what happened with Strahan and O.C. Umenyiora and all of those boys. It could be about that. It starts with that, is what I will say. So, yeah, you got to go out and get a receiver. There's no doubt about it. But the culture, what the Giants stood on, what people would have people rallying towards them and really gravitating to themselves and ingratiating themselves with that fan base, giving folks locally a reason to believe that somehow, some way, you're steering this franchise in the right direction. This was the way to go. So I don't have a problem with it.